Yes, now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Thomas Rants YouTube channel. It's about that time we talk about Monday Night Raw. I am still ill, my bad. Things are coming out though. That sounds so mad. Things are coming out as in the videos are coming out still. No, things are coming out. Whatever. Regardless. So let's start with the Intercontinental Championship picture. Penta was facing Finn Balor this week after he beat Dominic Mysterio last week. And I mean, you can imagine how this went, descended into chaos. Everyone came out to fight each other. Braun Breaker came out to fight everyone. And let's just say, in the build up to it, Finn and Dom are kind of, obviously, they're both part of Judgment Day, are kind of forming an alliance within this Fatal 4-Way. I mean, they attacked Braun Breaker earlier on in the night before Finn Balor went for his match with Penta. So, just more build towards WrestleMania. Just, I think it's clever that they're making Finn and Dom seem to be on the same page about it, because we all know what's happening at WrestleMania. Dom and Finn are imploding. Judgment Day and Finn are imploding. We just know it's all going to happen. I just can't wait for it personally. So, yeah. I mean, it was a solid match. It sucks that it didn't have an ending. I think Penta ended up getting the last word after everyone was fighting, and Penta went after everyone. So, yeah, that was cool. Then we had Bayley take on Liv Morgan. As we know, Bayley and Women's Intercontinental Champion Lyra Valkyria beat everyone in a gauntlet match. So on Raw, Bayley faced one half of the Women's Tag Team Champions, Liv Morgan, in their build-up to WrestleMania. And it was a solid match, and it looked like Judgment Day were going to use their shenanigans and Liv Morgan was going to get the win. And that's when Bayley and Lyra had a bit of chemistry, which was cool. Lyra held Bayley's waist on the ropes as Liv went for an oblivion, and Bayley then, off the counter of that, used the same pin roll up that Lyra used the week before to pin her. It was just poetic. The way Lyra and Bayley had a big war against each other on Monday and then used that to beat all the other teams on Friday. The way Lyra beat Bayley with a cheap roll up, not a cheap roll up, but a roll up pin, and she taught that to Bayley, and how Bayley used that to get her success. It was beautiful. I mean, the storytelling, they're great. I popped for that. I won't lie. I mean, I popped because Bayley won, because Bayley's the goal. But I popped for that because that was great, to be honest. That was chef's kiss, great. Then we had, some interviews and promo packages from the War Raiders and the New Day. New Day saying, they deserve that world title shot, and the titles are once again going to be back with them, and the world should thank God for the New Day. And then the War Raiders hit a promo package saying they've been winning titles all over the world, and the New Day are just not going to take the titles, essentially. I like these promo packages they're doing them, doing it with everyone. I mentioned them about Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre. One person gives a promo package delivering their side of the story, and then later on in the night, the other person does it. They did it on SmackDown with Naomi and Jade Cargill, who I forgot to mention, by the way, but it happened. And this time on Raw, they did it with the Women's World Heavyweight Championship Triple Threat match. I mean, Io gave hers, she gave it in Japanese, but Rhea gave hers, Bianca gave hers. I'm loving these promos because it helps understand the story and understand the characters so much more, because sometimes when you just build stories, not everyone gets it, not everyone gets it. So when each person of each feud is explaining their side of the story, A, it helps explain the feud, B, helps build the feud, C, you see everyone's point of view so you can decide who you're rooting for, and actually, it's great, it's just great. Like, personally, that's just how I see it. You can't do better. You couldn't do better. Now, we also had Rey Mysterio taking on Julius Creed. Obviously, we have the LWO American-made / El Grande Americano feud. So Rey Mysterio took on Julius Creed and obviously beat Julius Creed, but then there was a big fight between the LWO and Alpha Academy, American-made. It's so confusing. But there was something clever I was seeing coming. At the start of the match, when everyone was getting involved, both American-made and LWO got ejected from ringside. That was necessary so that Chad Gable could go in the back and get changed to El Grande Americano and come out and attack Rey after the match. Now, obviously, he slipped that piece of metal in his mask again and beat the shit out of everyone. Again, I still don't see the point in this match being on WrestleMania, but if it slaps, it slaps, WWE can do what they want, and it doesn't always have to be the big stars and the big storylines. Sometimes it can just be a solid match that they know will deliver. And Chad Gable can deliver, Rey Mysterio can deliver. I just hope it does. Then we had more building on to the feud of AJ Styles and Logan Paul as AJ Styles took on Karrion Kross, as Karrion Kross has been trying to get into AJ's head, saying we need that killer side of AJ Styles, the same side of AJ Styles that was lying to the crowd and to Cody to get to the championship. We need that against Logan Paul because we can't have a YouTuber come into the WWE and beat serious wrestlers. Otherwise, what's the point in anything they've all worked towards for the last however many years? So, after all the shenanigans, AJ Styles had a match with Karrion Kross this night, and Karrion did a little thing where he faked an ankle injury so that the ref would make everyone stop and they check on Karrion, and everyone would obviously not on their A game because they're stopped. And then Karrion then used that to play a possum attack and hit AJ with a shot, making AJ angry, making AJ bring out that side of him that Karrion Kross desperately wanted to see. So then AJ went after Karrion Kross, beat the shit out of him, and pinned him 1, 2, 3. Karrion Kross finally got that side out of AJ, and then AJ was attacked by Logan Paul. And obviously, AJ was doing fine until Karrion obviously helped Logan Paul get the better of him. But then we seen a backstage promo after the show. Obviously, it was posted on Instagram where Karrion Kross seems to be on AJ's side, saying he can't let Logan Paul beat him, but yet he helped Logan Paul beat him up. So it does make sense, but, you know, this match is just to get Logan Paul and AJ Styles' name on the WrestleMania card. I swear to God, if Logan Paul wins, I will kill myself. So let's not allow that to happen, please. But otherwise, solid match, solid AJ performance. Get Karrion Kross on more shows, please, because in NXT, he was an actual talent, and when they moved him up to the main roster, they've wasted him, which they do with absolutely everyone, but it's fine. It's fine. Now, finally, let's talk world title picture. Now, it was said that Jay and Gunther were going to have another promo thing, and Gunther came out straight away when he wasn't supposed to. And obviously, after last week, after Jay made him feel bad and made him feel quite emotional for what he did, Gunther came out and said, screw Jay, screw everyone. He's going to just successfully defend that world title, and he's not gonna let Jay get through to his head. He says he enjoyed what he did to Jimmy, and Jay wants to give all this mother talk. He says, well, he's gonna go to his mother and he's gonna say he's proud of what he did to Jay because he's proud that he walked out WrestleMania World Heavyweight Champion. And it just kind of seemed like a pissed off Gunther, like as if Jay's actually getting to him now, and now he needs to not only convince other people, but convince himself that he is still that same Gunther. Then Jey Uso finally came out the crowd, still in black, still not yeeting, but cut his promo, you know, hyping himself up, hyping the crowd up. He says, yeah, I did crash out, but now I'm locked in, ready to win at WrestleMania, whatever, yada, yada, yada. And when he walked out, he still wasn't yeeting. And I'm like, oh, what they're doing, man. And then he did a yeet when he got to the top of the stairs, but it is what it is. You know, at this point, I feel like some of the stories just kind of ran out and we're just waiting for WrestleMania to conclude them, which is fine. You can still put on an entertaining show, you know. And I feel like the last 2 episodes of Raw, I was saying they were the best episodes of Raw ever. This one, not so much. It wasn't as entertaining. It was still an entertaining episode of Raw, but it was not on those levels. But that's because WrestleMania's right there. It's right there. But then finally, obviously, we had the Punk Rollins Reigns feud getting built onto. After Friday Night SmackDown, when Paul Heyman, well, you know, he couldn't get Roman on his side. Paul was waiting for Roman to show up. And he was waiting there the whole show for hours. And then CM Punk comes and sits next to him, starts talking to Paul as a best friend. And literally as that's happening is when Roman Reigns rolls in, gets out his car and sees Paul Heyman hanging out with CM Punk and immediately just storms off. Paul Heyman obviously chases after him because that's not what it looks like, but it is. Roman Reigns comes out. Paul Heyman wants to hand him the microphone. Roman Reigns speeds right past him. Right, then building it, saying Roman don't like Paul no more. Not after what he's done. He feels betrayed. Seth Rollins comes out, cuts a promo once again. Punk comes out. Eventually, you know, Rollins basically says to Roman, Paul is a scumbag. He did betray you. It's more than a betrayal. And he will continue to betray you, and you shouldn't listen to Paul. And then Roman Reigns basically turns to Paul Heyman and he said, "No, Paul, I've made my choice." And then he attacks Seth Rollins. And we're thinking, oh, okay, so he's just going to rock with Paul Heyman anyway. And then Paul Heyman basically just says, I acknowledge you, my tribal chief, and obviously finds it sick that he's just attacked Seth Rollins and he's loving him again. He thinks Roman Reigns has chose him. And then Roman pushes him in the face, pushes him right on the floor, says, "Get down, Paul. I've had enough of you." And as soon as that happens, CM Punk comes on, "Don't attack my Paul," all that stuff. And Reigns just basically goes ahead and attacks CM Punk. Rollins gets back up, hits CM Punk with a GTS, hits Reigns with a chair, hits Reigns with a chair the same way he did 11 years ago when he turned on the Shield. And I'm loving the story because it seems to be a battle of demons. Like Rollins has a problem with Punk and Rollins has a problem with Reigns, but Reigns' problem is with Punk thinking he's above him, and then Punk is just like, "That's my friend. Paul Heyman's gonna be in my corner," and Punk just wants to win this, and I have it done with both of them. And Reigns and Punk are sort of focused on each other, and it's like Seth Rollins is just a third wheel. But Seth Rollins has major problems with the both of them, and Rollins uses their feud against each other to get to each other. So then when Rollins is standing on top this time, it's almost poetic. And I hope at WrestleMania, I've said poetic so many times, but it is. The storytelling's it's so great, right? But at WrestleMania, I just want a Seth win or a Roman win. I want Roman to establish himself as tribal chief, but I also want Seth to establish himself as the GOAT because Seth said he needs to win. No one else can win. It should and only be him. So I'm hoping that's what happens. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. It's WrestleMania week. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.